Hey everyone, Nadine Miskovich here again for the third week in a row for my Sunlit Warrior vlog. I am super excited to be sharing some things with you this week. Yes, I am sitting in a hotel room at a conference for peer support, and I'm really excited just to kind of take this time and share some of my thoughts and things that are going on with me. One of the biggest changes that has happened for me this last week is I got my hair cut. And some of you may or may not know, but I spent a long time, a majority of my life with really long hair, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time for a change. And I cut about 8 inches off or something like that. A lot. And it was really exciting, but also really nerve-wracking. So I'm really excited this week, though, to be coming to you live and sharing some awesome things with you. One of the greatest things, or what I really want to share first, is how thankful I am for all of you, and so far the love and support that you've all given me, and for sharing your own ideas around this and sharing your own inspiration and actually answering and starting a conversation around the things that I've been talking about. I know the first week we talked about being thankful, or what we're thankful in our lives, and then this last week we talked about fears and what it means to face your fears. And I'm really excited that we had some people be engaged in the conversation. And one of the main points that I really wanted you to take or walk away with after last week was really when there's fear in your life, or there's something that you are afraid of doing, to learn how to take action on it. So I know I talked about where there's when there's fear in my life, or things that I'm afraid to do, whether it was speaking on stage, or sharing my story for the very first time, or even getting into recovery. A lot of it had to do with taking action. And a huge part of that comes with me doing this vlog in the first place. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, at least for the last year. And I had so many fears fear that I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And I didn't know, what people were going to say. And I appreciate some of the comments that people talked about from last week, because someone had said exactly kind of what I wanted to talk about this week was, when you are afraid to do something, we often are afraid of what other people might think. And I can only imagine how some of you, maybe in your own life, have been afraid of doing something by the fear of what other people may say, or what other people may do. And that's really, I think, kind of what held me back for so long is, I could certainly step on stage and be completely open and honest and vulnerable and share my story. But for some reason, when it came to speaking about things and sharing it online, I had this fear of, what are people going to say? Or what are they going to do? Or if I put it online, then it's going to be there. And I think, well, so far, I've been able to receive a beautiful response. And I'm so grateful for everyone that has been checking in and following my vlog so far, and even checking out my Sunlit Warrior Facebook page. And right now I'm in the process of building a website, which I'm really excited about. But I know that so often in our lives, we have this fear of what other people will think. And I think a lot of that comes down to, the fear of judgment. What or how are people going to judge us? And unfortunately, we live in a society today that is what, is happening so often. We often tend to compare ourselves to other people. And I know that I did for such a long time in my life. I always was like, well, we're going to compare ourselves to other people by, how many friends they have on Facebook, or how many followers they have on Twitter or Instagram, or, what kind of house does that person live in, or what kind of car do they drive, and, oh man, am I doing enough, maybe they've been able to write books, or maybe they've been able to, share their voice in other ways that you haven't been able to. And I know we often do that. And I think a lot of it comes from, of course, like I said, like the society that we do live in today, because we follow, the media, or whether we're reading magazines or books, or maybe it's, watching movies or listening to certain types of music. And then we develop this, we start to find like our own self-worth and our own value through all the wrong things. Through things that at the end of the day really truly don't matter. And for me, I've been able to find my own self-worth through me and through my faith, and understanding that I am enough the way that I am, and that I don't have to be like anybody else, and I'm okay with who Nadine is. And I hope that what I really want for all of you is to maybe take a little piece of this video today, and understanding that it's okay to be you, to be who you are, because we live in a world, each and every one of us were, created in our own beautiful and unique ways. And so often we lose sight of that, and we lose, our own creativity, because we're so focused on what everybody else is doing, instead of focusing on what we could be doing. And so my greatest topic for this week is around our own self-worth and value, and to set aside the fear of judgment of what other people may think of you. Because I know for me, that's what held me back for doing this blog in the first place, and it's actually held me back for so many different things in my life. But today I've been able to find my own purpose and discover my own mission. And now I've been able to share it with all of you, because for my mission, I really just want to serve and support and share my light and my journey with all of you, in hopes that you too can find your own light in your life. And that where we can, when we live in a world that is so vastly divided, I hope that we can, build an open space or a community where we can have open and honest and vulnerable conversations, where we can actually talk about things that do matter versus the things that maybe don't matter. And I hope that after this week, you can find a little inspiration, that you can find a little bit of light, and that you can find a little bit of hope through this conversation. Because warriors, I want you to understand that you are enough exactly the way that you are. And it took me a long time to figure that out. But I'm so grateful to be here today, to share my message, to come to you and hopefully spread a little light and joy in your life. And I hope that we can continue to connect. I hope that you will go and like my Facebook page, not just for the likes, but so that you can follow, this inspiration and this conversation that I've been having, because it's not just about my conversation. I want to hear from all of you. I want to continue to hear, how are you finding inspiration in your life, or how are you finding value and self-worth in your own life? Because it's not just all about me. And I love all of you, and I thank all of you, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm looking forward to sharing more with you all next week. Much love.